We'll start this week with silver. Silver, expectantly getting slapped by the shorts. We are now retesting the $30 an ounce breakout line. A quick few check-ins on the silver squeeze sentiment painted by the spot price charts here. You can see how fast and volatile emotions move from hour to hour, day to day. No, you're likely not crazier than me, but if you are a silver bull too, these are the volatile spot price side effects if you care and watch closely. We're going to get into all kinds of key global bullion market updates shortly, but to begin, I'd be remiss not to start this week off by examining a bit of what has and is currently going on in China. Look, the last thing I want on this channel is to be a rumors of war fear-mongering dopamine hit for viewers. But this week, war games have escalated both internally and adjacent that I must cover it off top. Let's start with some damning data. Since full fiat financialization went into high gear in the 1980s to follow, the hollowing out of the U.S. middle class correlated with the rise of China as a global industrial powerhouse. Of course, China has both her declared and undeclared ambitions. Sitting in the way are Western sanctions and a still dominant full fiat US dollar market share in global trade. As of the end of 2022, for instance, the full fiat US dollar still accounts for about 44.2% in fiat forex trading, for instance. China instead has pivoted to overland direct bilateral deals with its trading partners to bypass fiat US dollars as intermediary, now in most of her trade settlements with mostly emerging markets. You can see the explosive trend since 2011 to date. Last month, China saw record withdrawals of fiat Chinese yuan from their banking sector. Surely the Chinese citizens are understandably getting restless. I wonder why.
要坚持领导带头，以上率下，坚持实战实训，连战连训，坚持按纲施训，从严治训。
This week, China escalated air and sea military war games surrounding the Taiwanese island. We're going to turn to India now for more Eastern insights on the ongoings from this week.
2024A 演习，岛链内联合打击药域战控能力。今天上午，东部战区发布多方向抵近台岛和环外岛战巡演练模拟动画，
全程开展突发情况迅疾处置，有效检验提升部队随行任务的能力。 对台岛西南海域组织舰机联合反潜、药域战控等科目演练，与台岛以东海空兵目标单密切战术协同，对关键要道。
Did you see that? This video was released by CCTV, the official mouthpiece of the Chinese government. It's an animated video. It shows the bombing of Taiwan by the Chinese military. It shows missiles hitting targets like Taipei. And this video has been released with an ominous message.
We are able to achieve firepower precision strikes on combat targets anywhere and at any time, as long as the Party Central Committee, the Central Military Commission, and President Xi give an order, we will be ready to fight at any time.
That was a Chinese soldier outlining China's attack capabilities. He explained how the Chinese military can hit Taiwan with great accuracy. All they need is an order from Xi Jinping. And this message is for Taiwan and their new leader, their new president, Lai Ching-te. China calls him a separatist. He took oath of office on Monday. 2 days later, China launched these drills. In his inauguration speech, Lai had told China to stop threatening Taiwan, and in response, China chose to double down. They began what they're calling punishment drills. Today was the second day of this exercise. In the last 24 hours, China has sent at least 49 aircraft, 19 military vessels and 7 Coast Guard vessels. This is according to Taiwan. Reports say the PLA, the Chinese army, tested its ability to quote-unquote seize power in Taiwan. In fact, China is almost confirming it. Look at the statement that the Chinese military issued today. It says they tested the PLA's capability to quote-unquote occupy key areas. Occupy key areas in Taiwan. Simply put, China practiced how to invade Taiwan and take control by force.
Taiwan is China's Taiwan, and it is not the turn of the United States to say anything about it. The root cause of the tense situation in the Taiwan Strait lies in the attempts of the Democratic Progressive Party authorities to use the United States to seek independence.
China's tone is aggressive and the world has gotten used to it. Yet this time, it's more worrying because of the Chinese military's maneuvers around Taiwan. Let me show you a map. This is Taiwan. Look at how Chinese forces have surrounded the islands. They're conducting drills in every corner. Beijing has picked 5 target areas for this exercise, plus they've targeted at least 4 small islands. Now, these are close to Chinese shores, but these islands belong to Taiwan. The PLA has been conducting drills near them, and then they sent this message to Taipei.
Since taking office, the leader of the Taiwan region has seriously challenged the One China principle, nakedly peddled the two-nation theory, and attempted to use force to seek independence and rely on foreign countries to seek independence. This is purely playing with fire, and those who play with fire will surely get themselves burned.
So this was a comprehensive drill. They were not just meant to scare off Taiwan, they were supposed to demonstrate China's capability for a military takeover of Taiwan. And this is in line with Xi Jinping's orders. On multiple occasions, he has told his forces to be war ready. He says reunification with Taiwan is inevitable, and he doesn't rule out the use of force to achieve this goal. He has even locked horns with the United States over Taiwan. In April, Xi spoke with Joe Biden on the phone, and Xi Jinping told the American president that Taiwan is a red line, and the US should not cross that red line. He wants America to stop sending military aid to Taiwan, so these drills were supposed to be a message to the US too. Again, a demonstration of China's military strength, which brings me back to the video we started with. It gives an insight into the minds of the Chinese military leaders, the military planners. It shows how they would go about invading Taiwan. This video identifies 4 potential targets: Taipei, Hualien, Taitung, and Kaohsiung. The video further shows Chinese jets being loaded with live ammunition, bombers conducting mock strikes, and mock missile launches. So the focus is on aerial attacks. And this will be a big part of Chinese military strategy against Taiwan, the aerial attacks. And their scope won't be limited to Taiwanese cities. Ships on the high seas are also vulnerable. In the past 2 days, Chinese planes have rehearsed this too. How to bomb foreign vessels in the Bashi Channel. This region falls between Taiwan and the Philippines, and the Chinese Coast Guard will have a role to play here. They too, the Coast Guard, were also part of the drills. They conducted mock inspections of civilian boats. How does Taiwan see all of this? They've called China's drills military intimidation.
Any use of threats of force to undermine regional peace across the Taiwan Strait will not help improve cross-strait relations. It will not only have an impact on regional security and peace stability, but will also have a negative impact on global peace and economic development. Therefore, we are not happy to see China's military intimidation.
So tensions are high around the Taiwan Strait. China's military activities pose a serious threat, not just for the regional players, but for everyone who relies on Taiwan's economy or sends ships through this region, which is pretty much the whole world. They should be worried about China's aggression.
Well, it's no surprise that it's become up, and away for local Chinese gold prices in the fiat yuan. On the silver side of this equation, one is left to wonder if all this recent record premiums paid out for Western silver 1,000 ounce bullion bars flowing from London and COMEX warehouses are indeed the push before global trade gets cut off further. After all, if you're running a military without silver for inputs into your advanced military hardware, bombs, and vehicles, well, you'll be up the creek with no paddle. The premium paid for this week for 1,000 ounce silver bullion bars in China peaked as high as 39 an ounce. Yeah, Chinese silver squeeze. Hello, this is James Anderson on behalf of SD Bullion. Smash the like button if you enjoy these bullion market updates. And be sure to visit sdbullion.com/sweepstakes to enter our free 500 ounce silver coin giveaway.
Make some room in your safe because a whole lot of silver could be coming your way. SD Bullion's Monster Box Sweepstakes is back, featuring 500 of SD Bullion's very own Silver Tree of Life coins in a Monster Box for the first time ever. This stunning silver coin is a highly detailed masterpiece featuring a hidden inscription on one of the tree branches that changes every year. So put on your best flannel and become one with the forest, and take your shot to win 500 silver trees from SD Bullion, because someone's gonna win it, so why not you? Click the link below for your chance to win.
The spot silver and gold market sold on this week. The spot gold price has dipped below $2,350 an ounce. Ask, while the spot silver price closed this week testing the $30 an ounce breakout level it passed late last week. The spot gold silver ratio climbed into nearly 77. Keep an eye on it breaking below 75, as that's a key short medium term resistance level below. Big bullion sale this weekend at sdbullion.com, and I would politely suggest bigger silver stackers out there consider going with this 100 ounce silver bullion bar sale. Not sure how much longer silver bullion at a round $30 an ounce price will be available to us all. For gold bullion buyers, the Royal Mint's Britannia gold coin, it's a great value this weekend. Onwards to the U.S. economy. Quick check-in on nearly half the U.S. population, which in recent polls conducted by the Fiat Federal Reserve state that they can't afford a $2,000 surprise expense. Surprise, not surprised, the average U.S. consumer is not living off cheap consumer debt fumes. This insight is corroborated by now nearly half of U.S. renters spending over 30% of their incomes on month-to-month rents, an all-time high. The secular bond bear market is alive and well, as to be expected after a 40-year full fiat financialization mega bull market that covered the globe. Well, the bigger the bull market, the bigger the bear. Quick check-in this week on many of the U.S. bank bag hodlers. Sea of Red. The global bullion over bond phenomenon is only beginning. The world's central banks buying record volumes of gold bullion over the last 2 years and a quarter is not something that any money managers should ignore, unless they want to be fired. That all said, we have a long way to go and a lot of gold higher evaluations are coming this decade into next. Record-sized month-over-month capital flow allocations into the commodity sector have begun, as you can see on this chart. Turning the U.S. stock market bubble ongoing, Saudi Arabia's sovereign wealth fund, around the current fifth largest in the world with nearly $1 trillion in assets, sold off nearly half of its U.S. stock portfolio last quarter, Q1 2024. Bigger picture, I asked about 75 of my Twitter followers the following poll question. When does the S&P 500, the U.S. stock index, and the spot fiat U.S. dollar gold price again reach nominal parity or a 1-to-1? About 1/3 you said next decade, 2030s. Cool. I'll take the under on that timeline. The fiat U.S. dollar devaluing to gold is by design. I'll, God willing, be betting on that into next decade as well. On the silver side of this equation, this chart illustrates, using increasingly rigged U.S. government price inflation CPI data, that if we were still using 2011 fiat dollar purchasing power according to them, spot silver would be still below 20 an ounce. I wouldn't worry about rigged CPI data since 1980 too much, Bart. They're going to keep rigging it because they have to, at least before the gloves truly come off. The reverse of that point is how high silver prices in today's devaluing fiat US dollars got using rigged CPI data alone looking backwards to 1980. Silver might look nominally high right now, but it's still historically cheap versus other bull markets within our lifetimes where the world didn't in either. Being over negative 80% off the old rigged CPI high of January 1980 won't last forever. Expect that percentage to shrink further as we move along in years. Quick check over to India. Yep, their central bank keeps buying more official gold reserves, having bought 24 tons admitted on the year thus far. Another interesting point regarding India's record-breaking Q1 2024 silver import flows, over 130 million ounces. Aside from taking the seemingly lawless City of London's silver warehouse holdings to now a new all-time low level, given that local fiat rupee spot prices are now climbing walls of worry into an up and up to the right runaway train, it's not surprising, even with relatively tepid silver bullion imports last year, 2023, that India spent the most in local currency terms for silver than it ever had prior, at least until this year, 2024. Just Q1 2024's record silver bullion import buying covered over 3/4 or 75% of all fiat rupees spent on importing silver bullion last year in all of 2023. So yeah, safe to say this year will be another record by far and away. These charts are from 2022, back when local fiat rupee silver prices were bottoming on an interim basis. The lower chart illustrates where the City of London's collapsing silver inventory levels were at the time in September 2022. They are now at further record low levels, having dropped nearly another 100 million ounces lower than back then. Congratulations to all the Indian silver squeezers who bought the 2022 silver spot price dip. You have now nearly doubled your local purchasing power in short order. Quick check-in on the aggregated shadow price of Eastern silver spot. That's now escalated to over 370 an ounce. And now the aggregated shadow price of Eastern gold spot prices is now over $36,000 an ounce. As the East gets wealthier, it's going to yank the red spot price lines higher over time. That, my friends, is inevitable. While U.S. Congress critters pretend to be able to stop oncoming CBDC apps, likely eventually provided directly to you and me by the U.S. Treasury as the next fiat financialized crisis comes to bear, my strong suggestion is you look beyond the right-left paradigm panderers and instead remain focused on the real central bank power plans and their ongoing record gold buying over bonds actions. All paper is destined to devalue to bullion, so get your fair share while it's still undervalued for now. That will be all for our weekly SD Bullion Market Update. As always to you out there, take good care of yourselves and those you love. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and share it with those you love. Subscribe to our channel and hit that alert button so you know when we publish new bullion market updates.